Hi guys, my name is Ron Cook. I'm sure there's a couple familiar faces here from previous courses, and for those, well, for everybody, I hope everybody's having a good day in these tough times. I will keep the intro short and kind of jump right into it here as time is limited. We're discussing the concept of Western civilization and its relevancy for today. I think the relevancy in historical studies is obvious, though some would disagree, and I'll kind of get into some of that. I'm just going to begin with where I'm at with it, and I kind of lay this out in my abstract. Is that, and if you see me looking off here, I'm referencing all my notes as I'm kind of moving on the fly today. Um, I kind of look at Western civilization as an abstract concept, an amalgamation of various cultures and events that over time have produced this generalization that we call Western civilization. And I think one would be hard pressed to look at any part of the modern world and not see how it affects the causes and the historical value that Western civilization offers. I'll jump right into those that would probably be on the other end of the spectrum for me, maybe, such as the article by Apaya, where he states more of that he doesn't believe Western civilization is actually a thing, and that it rather stems from almost leaning towards a Eurocentric view of the world and an oppressive view of history, and kind of leans more towards an internationalist or this humanity concept, which, in abstraction, I would love to agree with, yet I don't see that this humanity concept, this one world view or transnationalist, internationalist, whatever we're calling it this week, is actually relevant or even empirical in historical studies. And we can leave that one on the table as it may be. And then others that I found through the sources that were laid out for us to read is like from the American conservative Berzer. He says, "What exactly is the West?" And he makes a comment about jumping from Greek, and mentions the Romans, as do all Western civilization courses, and he makes a dividing line with Jesus Christ, um, which I would tend to agree with as being some form of dividing line, or bringing Eastern and Western ideals under one roof and those pushing forward from there. Others that we had that I chose, anyways, for this little discussion is the Birkin article from the history teacher. And he kind of falls closer to where I do, that, the arguments over Western civilization is supreme, Western civilization doesn't exist, or it's oppressive. I think it's somewhere in the middle, usually. That tends to be my answer. That's not usually at the extremes. Unfortunately, that's where most of the debates land, are at the extremes, and that's usually because one end of the spectrum or the other has an ideological preference or agenda that they wish to push forward, which is fine. Also, I believe that's necessary. At the end of the day, though, the relevancy comes across in some of the new research that I mentioned in my abstract, by authors such as Eric Nelson in the Hebrew Republic, American Zion by Shalev. There's Yoram Hazony, The Virtue of Nationalism. All of these I've read through at one point or time, and they're newer research, especially like Eric Nelson and Shalev, pointing to, Greek, Roman, English, a lot of what we call Western civilization as actually coming out of the cradle of civilization in the ancient uh, world in the Middle East, basically, and kind of sprouting out from there. And you can kind of see the biblical values, and then I would also argue that the ideals that Jesus presents within that realm then creates somewhat of a dividing line and kind of forms or births parts of the concepts of Western civilization, and actually helps bring together the whole argument about the Eastern ideals or the Western ideals, though some would disagree with that point of view. At the end of the day, we have to look around in the world in which we live and look back at the information we have. And Western civilization is a generalized, abstract concept that we use to describe whether it's the technological advancements, free market individualism, collectivism, statism, all of these different things. And I think that it is easily shown that Western civilization is highly important to understand not only human history, but the world in which we live. So that's just kind of where I'm at with it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope everybody has a great first week. Thank you.